hello my friends. Welcome to another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we get together and create a card. Today's card is this cute, adorable stand-up card that has a bike on it, and when we stand it up, it says, "May your day be a ride in the park." Now, for today's card, what we're going to use are a couple different products. One, we're going to use the Bicycle to Stamp set, which is really fun because it has two different bikes and has a little basket and some flowers, and it's lots of fun. So that's one thing we're going to use. Another thing we're going to use are the stitched rectangle dies, and that is a very popular die set that people have. So you probably already have that one. We're also going to use the clouds to cut, the bicycle dies that match, the stand-up die, which this is probably the most popular stand-up die, and it's 659212 that I designed for Sizzix, and it's called Royal Stand-Ups. And two of my favorite paper pads, Celebrate Collection and Wishes Collection. So hopefully you have some of these products already in your stash. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to die cut our base. Now I always say I like to die cut my base first because that gives me my foundation and it gives me a place to start. So I'm going to grab those two, the layering die and then this big die. That's the big die in the kit. I'm going to grab that, and I need to trim down my paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a cutting pad. I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to trim it. Now I know this is the right size for my card base. Lay that down, lay this down, and I'm going to run that through the machine. Now I'm putting it a little bit at an angle so I don't have any speed bumps, and I'm going to run that through. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yellow paper and I'm going to die cut this layering piece. So we're going to run that through. Cracking is normal, don't worry, that's just the blade going through the cutting pad. So bring that around, and the die has cut it and scored the card for me, which is fantastic. So now what I'm going to do is I need to die cut this yellow piece. But since I already know ahead of time that I'm going to die cut those little clouds, you would want to go ahead and die cut those clouds. Now I've already die cut mine, so you can see I already have mine die cut, but now would be a good time to lay it down and die cut those. So now I'm going to run this through. Easy, easy. Okay, so we have that die cut. Now, to finish off this piece, I'm going to want to ink some of the edges just to make it extra special. So I'm going to grab some pattern paper that's just extra scratch paper, and I'm going to find banana, because this is banana. And I'm just going to ink around the edges. Start off the paper and go onto the paper. And it just gives it a little extra oomph. Just kind of adds a little extra dimension or interest, or just kind of makes it more fun. So we're just going to go all the way around the edges. You can add a little bit of ink or a lot of ink. I always start off to the side and then go on. There we go. That looks great. Okay. So now we have that inked. And now what we're going to do is let's stamp our bike. So let's find our bike. Our bike is hiding. Here it is. Now this is a brand new stamp set. Whenever I do my videos, I like to grab brand new product. So we are going to stamp this on scratch paper first. So we're going to peel this guy up, get a block. That fits good. Lay him down, and we're going to stamp him in Storm. But this is the first time I've stamped this one. It's a brand new stamp set. So we're going to stamp first onto scratch paper. That's going to give us a better impression the next time we stamp it. Okay, so now we've conditioned it, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to ink this baby up, and we're going to stamp it. Just like that. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to die cut it. So we're going to get out the die that matches. And we're going to just pop that out. Now is when you would also be getting out these flower dies and die cutting some of those. Now I've already done that, so you're going to want to go ahead and do that as well. So we're going to lay this down, and of course I'm using my magnetic platform, which is fantastic because that die is not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to lay this down, line that up, get it exactly where I want it. Spend an extra second to make sure you're getting it exactly where you want it, because that's very important. Then you're going to lay your cutting pad down and run that through. So we have our card base here. We have our layering piece here. Awesome. And now we have our bike. Look at that, beautifully cut out. So now let's add a little bit of foam tape to the back of this. Let's just throw that in pieces here. There we go. So first let's add our yellow layer. Now we've done all of the measuring for you, so you don't have to worry, oh, is this going to line up? It's going to line up perfect with blue, a layer all the way around. We're going to fold this in half on the score lines that the die created. Just give it a nice score, nice fold. And then we're going to finger press these two side pieces. And there's this little, I know it's hard to see on camera because it's dark, but there's a little belly button notch. We're going to lift that up just a little bit. So when we do our card, it's going to look like that. But look, this is a perfect example. See how it's just kind of not staying in that little notch, and we want it to stay in that little notch? What that means is I'm just going to score or really press down on that score line right there. Get a bone folder, whatever. And now watch. It's going to stay in that little notch, that little belly button notch. Okay, so now we have this part. Let's add our cute little bike. So we're going to add our little bike like right about here. And then we're going to add our cute little clouds. So remember, we would have die cut that earlier, and I already die cut mine. So we're going to add that one right here, probably over here a little bit more. And then let's add this one, just regular adhesive, right here. Okay, then let's add some flowers. So let's find our cute little flowers. We've die cut a whole bunch already, just out of random little colors, tangerine and guava and bubblegum. And let's just add a little bit of adhesive. Now we could have added the Sizzix adhesive to the back of these, but some of them we're not necessarily sure if they're gonna stay or they're gonna go anywhere. And so let's just put this one here. Oh, and we need the basket. We need to die cut the basket. So let's get the basket. Can't forget the basket. Now I already have one die cut, but I want you to see it die cut because it's fun. So we're gonna get this little tiny basket in here, and we're gonna get some ginger snap cardstock. Lay that down. Now normally I would definitely use Sizzix adhesive on the back of this, but we want it to go up on our card a little. So we're not gonna use Sizzix adhesive. So we're gonna pop this up, give it a little poke in the right spot. There we go. And then we're going to add this to our bike. So we're just going to add adhesive to one spot. Oh, didn't get any on there. Okay, let's add adhesive to one spot. Do this way. Okay, now it's on there. So it's just going to hang off our bike like that. Isn't that cute? And then we need to add some flowers. Now, just for a little extra fun, we can even use our marker set to add some little dots to these, just for kicks. Okay, that's cute. So we're going to add some little flowers to the basket. Now you can add as many or as little flowers as you want. I think the more flowers the better. You could also use felt flowers, or you could use anything you like. Put one behind. And I'm not even looking at my sample, I'm just playing at this point. That's half the fun. Let's add a little flower over here. Just kind of have it just sticking out. Then let's add a flower over here. Get 2 for the price of 1 on that adhesive. And just kind of layer them around. Now I do need to get some marker on those. So let's grab that. Add some little dots. And we need the pink again. Add some little dots, just for fun. Now, let's see where we're at. Okay, we're getting pretty close, but we're gonna open this up. Again, we have our little notch. We're gonna open this up, and we're going to add a little strip. Now, we're not gonna go all the way to the edge on this because we're gonna trim some of this off. We're gonna lay this down, and line it up on one side and go all the way to the other side, and then you're just going to trim one side. I always turn it over and trim just like this, so it's going to be the perfect size. If I were to take that to the trimmer and say, okay, 4¼ by 5½, you know, try to figure it out, chances are I'd cut it too small and then I'd mess it up. So it's better to have it be a little bit larger and then trim it just on one side. So now what we're going to do is we are going to create the inside. So here we go. May your day be a ride in the park. And we need to use our stitched rectangles. We're going to grab this set, and I believe we used this one. Let me double check. Yep. So let's get some white. Let's die cut that first. Now these stitched rectangles are really fun because they add so much more definition to your project. So we're just going to run that through quick. Okay. And it gives such a nice deep cut. And then we're going to stamp it. And of course you could stamp it anything you wanted, but that's what we're going to use. And this time I'm going to use licorice so it really pops off that page. And first time stamp set, right? So what am I going to do? Stamp on scratch paper. There we go. And then the next time I'm going to stamp for real. I can see exactly where I'm stamping, so I don't have to worry about it not being straight. Lift that up. Perfect. So now let's get a little bit more foam tape. Let's trim this down just a little. I like the strips because then I can make it as any size I want. So we'll just add it like that. Peel that off. Peel this one off. And we are almost done. Can you believe how easy peasy that was? Line that up right there. Well, let's put it perfect. Line it right there, and look at how easy that was. So here we go. Here's our card. We're going to open it up, put it in that little notch. May your day be a ride in the park. Thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Stephanie's Stamp Pad, where we get together and create a card. Check out every Wednesday because we release a new video every Wednesday where we can get together. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.